Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey Pierre and I am a marketer slash student at Florida International University, and I currently work in marketing at the moment. And I'm creating this video more for myself than for other individuals, but I feel like other people might find this valuable as well. So recently I have been thinking about my career path, about my life, about the decisions that I've made thus far at 28. And I was talking to a partner of mine, well, my only partner, my boyfriend, and I was telling him that I felt a bit disappointed with where I was in life. I was thinking about potentially switching career paths to something that has less friction. And I was telling him it's because I don't necessarily feel good at what I'm doing right now. And as I was thinking about it, he gave me some tips, insights, and wisdoms. First, he told me about the 10,000 hour rule, which essentially is a rule, I think by Malcolm Gladwell, that talks about how you need to do something for 10,000 hours to become an expert. And that's one of my life goals, is to become an expert at something. But I realized that with everything that I've done in life, I haven't necessarily given myself the opportunity to become that expert, because every time something gets hard, every time something gets uncomfortable, every time something gets slightly irritable to me, I feel like I need to quit and switch something else. And this kind of started in 2021 when I had my first official corporate job. I was working in education technology and I felt like, okay, this is going to be my path. And due to my mental health and other circumstances, I had to get away from that path, because I didn't even necessarily have to get away from that path. I just strayed away for a couple months, because I had to recoup and do things to recover my mental health. But as I'm looking back, I realized that was a really pivotal moment in my life, because ever since that time, I haven't stayed at a corporate position for more than a year. And now I'm in this new corporate position and I feel like good, because I like my manager, I like my boss, I like the CEO, I like the people that I work with. It's like, as good as I feel about the people, I just don't feel that way about myself, which is very unfortunate. And I know that I have a lot to do with my negative self-talk that was developed as a child, but I'm getting to this point where it's like, I'm at a crossroads and something needs to happen, and not necessarily something drastic as I usually do, but I think something needs to happen in the sense that I need to course correct, change a path, and not necessarily my career, but my mindset, right? So essentially what I'm going to be doing is something that I gathered from Alex Hormozy and other people just in the world, doing something. I followed this girl and she posted on social media for about a year. And I also followed Alex Hormozy, and he was like, if you feel uncomfortable or you feel like you're not where you're at in life or where you're supposed to be in life, how about you do something for a year, 365 days, and see how that changes. And coincidentally or serendipitously, my manager actually got me this book called The Artist's Way. And I have always considered, at least for a long time, after my medical school dreams, I've always considered myself to be a creative person, an artist, a storyteller at heart. Just that's where my heart lies. But recently I've been thinking okay, I'm not really good at this. Sorry, there's no background. I don't have the best memory. I don't have the best recall. I don't have the best storytelling skills. I'm not consistent. I all the negative things. So I say all that to say that in the midst of not believing in myself, I realized that it's going to take some time for me to develop a positive self-talk, one. And two, I need to commit to doing something for a year. I've already committed to two things. And those two things are, one, finishing my master's in marketing program, and two, staying at my job for at least a year. But I think on a personal soul level, the last thing I'm going to commit to is this practice called the Artist's Way. And essentially the Artist's Way has two practices that you do on a daily basis. Well, two practices, one that you do on a daily basis and one that you do on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. one of the practice that I'm going to do is called morning pages. And morning pages essentially is you writing 3 pages of continuous thought. It doesn't have to be smart. It doesn't have to be dumb. It doesn't have to be neutral. It literally can be whatever you want. Whether you're writing about, oh, like, the wall is white. The wall is white. The wall is white. Like, for 3 pages, that's what you do, as long as you get your 3 pages in. So I think, like, in a moment of, like, self-reflection, in a moment of honesty, and in a moment of introspection, I'm going to commit for the next 365 days to write my morning pages. And I'm not necessarily going to, maybe I will document it. Maybe I'll do a weekly documentary where I talk about, like, the pages and, like, what I'm writing, because, like, I don't find that I probably will write something, like, not good, you know? I think that I'm gonna write something that, like, speaks to my soul. So I'm gonna be writing for 365 days starting tomorrow. And if I miss a day, I start over. And that's it. And I'm going to treat myself with kindness and respect in this process, because I realize that doing something for a year, at least for me, is probably not going to be the easiest thing to do. But I think that that is what needs to be done for a year before I make any drastic decisions, because, like, I was thinking about going to law school, thinking about switching careers, just not because of my work environment, but because, like, I personally have lack of confidence, at least at this time, in, like, my abilities. So I think that I don't think I'm going to do the morning pages every day for the next 365 days. And I'll come to you guys documenting my process, whether it's weekly or monthly. I will document my process, and I'll read my morning pages, like, to myself, and just let you know what I'm getting out of it. And that is what I'm doing. That is my year commitment. So I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know that, because I know I haven't been really consistent with this channel, but I want to let you guys know that that's going to start changing. I'm going to be consistent with myself. Eventually I'll be consistent with this channel, but most of all, it's about focusing on doing the morning pages and focusing on getting the insight that I need to get out of that. So I hope this encouraged someone to do their own practice for a year. If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling uncomfortable, I hope this encourage you to do your own practice for at least a year to see where it takes you. And like my boyfriend says, like, it takes 10,000 hours to get good at something, like, not really good, but, like, to become an expert at something. It takes time and effort to really, I don't know, like, to just be good at something too. So, like, I want to give myself a chance and, like, do this morning through the 3 things I'm going to do: finishing my master's program, finishing my job, like, you know, at least spending a year in my job, and the morning pages. I hope to get some clarity and insight on to what the next couple of years of my life will look like. So thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate anyone who watched my stream of thoughts throughout this process, throughout this video. And if you have any questions or any insights or any tips on maintaining consistency for a year and really getting the most out of the morning pages in the artist way, just let me know. You can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Stacey Erica Pierre, or you can message me in the comments and I will reply. So thanks everyone, and I hope you have a great day.